them, was kind of an interesting period during the 90s. The South Park is definitely a very interesting, little dark humor. And they do make jokes and poke at different oops, there goes Artman. They make fun of like different individuals, whether they're politicians, movie stars, athletes, etc. I do remember this one episode. It was really actually pretty funny, but it was an episode where they were poking at Canadians, and they did a little jingle, blame Canada with their beady little eyes and their flappy little heads, blame Canada. So, I mean, some of it's funny, it goes along with the, humor that, or something that headline news or blah, blah, blah. Some of it's a little over the top and definitely not a cartoon for kids, adult humor. But I mean, it is what it is. Everybody has heard of South Park for sure. They killed Kenny. Okay. Kenny has died. I don't know how many times.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see if it works this time.
Yes. Good luck.
I'll let you know.
All right. Okay. Artman, have you seen the things along the lines of like Family Guy or King of the Hill, The Simpsons? I think King of the Hill was the one that I really enjoyed. So, okay.
Artman, pay your cable bill. Come on now. Jeez, Lord have mercy.
Yeah. But I think as far as like the King of the Hill, I remember, obviously about the propane and, Bobby and all that. And then I watched The Simpsons. The thing that was kind of weird about The Simpsons is that like there's things that happen later on that they kind of predicted on The Simpsons. And that was always a little, I never really thought of that. And I kind of like seen reruns. I'm like, oh yeah, they kind of did touch on some things that kind of happened later on. So
yeah, I've seen that happen. It's like the Jeffersons, the family, they're in this, in the future, they've got their little watch they talk to, and all of a sudden we have Apple Watches. I mean, that's kind of ironic for.
It's the phone. It's not the Wi-Fi. It's the phone.
Oh.
I promise. The phone is like 3 years old, and I got to get another one.
Oh wow.
The Wi-Fi works.
See, you should have if your phone was only 3 years old, it should still work, but you never know. So.
What's up, Time Lord? Yeah, I should have a phone on standby. Agreed.
Right.
Hey, I'm good. All right. I see it now.
Yeah. Okay. And for you, have you seen South Park, or have you seen like The Simpsons, Family Guy, American Dad?
I know South Park very well. They killed Kenny. All that, or screw you guys, I'm going home. Yeah, I know South Park in and out, right? Mm-hmm. So we had recommend back in my time in the military days, they had the guy on South Park named Chef, right? And he's a big guy. He's like, hey, my little crackers, right? And he would say that to him all the time. And I am not kidding you. I worked for a guy in the Navy. He looked exactly like Chef, sounded just like him. Do you know how many times we tried getting him to say that?
I remember the movie, and the thing I remember about the movie was they had this song that was kind of like a jam that was all over MTV when it came out. It was like, we got to ride tonight. My little homie Kenny died tonight.
Oh my
goodness. I got so into that song because it was Chef. He was driving around and he was going to pick up Kenny or something in the video, and yeah, it was funny.
Okay. The only episode NorCal's episode is kind of familiar with blame Canada. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only other one that I can actually remember is where they were trying to find out who Cartman's father really was. Was it like, and they're like, is it this guy? Is it the 1986 Denver Broncos? And they started giving us all these choices. And it was like 12 weeks later that we found out it was finally his mom. That was his father as well. It's really awkward.
Oh.
Definitely not a kid show, but definitely funny.
I didn't watch it much. It sounds like they'd make kind of fun of things that kind of like, I know there's dark humor, but there was some things that, you know, they shouldn't have made fun of. So kind of like it was
Right.
hard to watch for me in that aspect. I'd rather have watched the other shows that didn't really go that route. But did you have a favorite episode? Because like since I said I didn't really watch it, it was kind of more, I just remember them, they were talking about killing Kenny. That's what I remember. So
You know, honestly, I just didn't have time to watch all of these like shows back in the 90s. I just got like just a little bit of like passing through, you know, saw like half of an episode, never really sat down, programmed myself to schedule, you know, in front of the TV, because, you know, girl was a single mom and she had to work. But I wasn't really a fan of all of those shows, actually, you know, because I really felt like you know, that was not really something that was, you know, during primetime television, and you have family and kids there, and it's just, you know, not really kid oriented. Like if they played it like at 11 o'clock at night or 12 o'clock at night, the kids are asleep, you know, then yeah, that's fair game.
Yeah. The favorite episode of South Park, it's got to be when they introduced Mr. Hanky. Is it Mr. Hanky? Mr. Hanky, the Christmas Pooh.
yeah.
But I mean, that's kind of a dark humor thing. I mean, you don't really sit there and talk to a piece of thing or whatever, you know, that's that's kind of on the edge.
Yeah. All right. And any of the animated, you know, mature adult shows, were any of those your favorite? I know there's kind of more that I'm probably not remembering. NorCal mentioned Beavis and Butthead. I did really like Beavis and Butthead, but I remember growing up as a teenager in California, there was one episode where they were watching music videos and they were talking about the girls and like how they were on the, you know, how the girls were like easy and all this in California. I'm just sitting there tearing up from the show like, kind of like, I think I stopped watching it after that. So
I do remember Pinky in the Brain. I'm not sure if you guys remember Pinky in the Brain. You know, it was like two lab rats in a cage. One, you know, rat was oversized. You know, the head was oversized, and he had a little skinny body. And then the other rat was very big and kind of like not muscly, but he was just kind of like thick. So one was a mastermind and the other one was kind of like the, you know, the muscle, the bronze, you know, the
G-Brain, what are we gonna do tonight?
The handler. So that was
what are we gonna do tonight,
that was actually a fun one because they were always masterminding about how to get out of the cage and take over the world, and it seemed like that was kind of more of a harmless, you know, type of show where it wasn't too offensive.
Yeah. And I remember they say it was a kid show supposedly, but to me it always seemed kind of a little more adult. It was like Ren and Stimpy, but I liked Ren and Stimpy.
Ren and Stimpy, Beavis and Butthead, Pinky and the Brain, South Park, Simpsons. God, what else? There's a few of them.
What other?
That was a kind of a weird decade.
Yeah.
Weird. That was. Yeah. I think a lot of the television programs, they were like testing the boundaries on how much they could get away with.
And we know that that Comedy Central was where South Park aired. I don't know if it's still on current episodes or not, but the thing I'll watch on Comedy Central is when they do the roasts of certain celebrities, because like they're always funny. They always, you know, go to exactly that point of almost going too far, but it's always funny. So is there anything else you watch on Comedy Central? I think there's a talk show, The Daily Show. Is that on Comedy Central? One of the talk shows is on Comedy Central.
The Daily Show was on Comedy Central. The Man Show. Oh, I forgot about The Man Show. NorCal 4 Top Badge has The Man Show. That was good. That was Adam Carolla and I can't remember the other guy, but yeah, that was a good show.
Was that
I've never seen it.
Dr. Drew also?
Dr. Drew?
No, maybe that was that other show. That was that Love Line show on MTV. I'm thinking of a different show. Okay, and who was your favorite character on South Park?
I wasn't really into South Park. I mean, it just,
Yeah.
I wasn't really a fan. Yeah.
It's got to be Kenny.
It's
got to be Kenny because he always came up with the one-liners about how, screw you guys, yeah, I'm fat, but you know, your mother, blah, 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 right? He was the one that made all the jokes. He's the one that made the show happen.
I would just say kind of like Chef is based on that music video because I really wasn't a big fan, but I know that I wanted to include it as part of the show because I know it was a big part of, you know, pop culture when, you know, over the years since it's come out. So, okay. And then I already asked about the favorite episode okay. All right. So the next story would be about when Bambi premiered. We all remember like the older Disney movies, and I remember Bambi wasn't one I watched a lot because of the beginning. You know, it was a good movie, but it was, you know, but the whole like thing about like his mom getting killed, it's kind of, I think Bambi made me like never want to go hunt, you know. And yeah, I know that like, you know, deers, they got to control their populations and everything. But as a kid, you know, it's like it was kind of traumatic that his mom got killed by the hunters. So, you know, but I kind of I liked Flower and I liked Thumper. So I think I kind of, you know, watched it for that reasons. But they describe Bambi as a coming of age story. They talk, you know, for the deer, they talk about him, you know, with his friends discovering the forest and falling in love. You know, he met the girl deer, Feline, and then he discovers his dad, you know, is the great prince of the forest. And then, you know, he overcomes the fire in the forest and all that. So when you look into it, Bambi is a little more dramatic than you realize.
So the only thing that I really remember now, it's like a flashback. I'm like starting to remember a lot of the the chronological part of the movie. Mm-hmm. It was the most impressive thing that his mother said. It was like her philosophy was, if you have nothing good to say, don't say anything at all. It was something like that. If you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. I think that was the verbiage. I don't know if it was word for word, but I definitely believe in that. Like that was something that I remember growing up and that stuck with me. You know, it's like, it's got to be positivity, you know, coming out of my mouth. Mainly because, you know, I manifest things and I'm projecting that, and whatever I send out to the universe is going to come back to me. So I definitely don't want to, you know, say anything that is not nice because you're wasting your time on, you know, things that really don't need to have time wasted on. And so Bambi's mom, kudos to Bambi's mom. Mm-hmm. All moms got to, you know, be the first teacher, you know, teaching Bambi the right ways. Okay.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Thumper picking on him for how he ran when he was a baby. I forgot about that. Mm-hmm. So as soon as she said that, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot that Thumper was a little mean at first. So
the best part about Bambi was Thumper. Thumper, once again, I'm a jokester. I love to laugh. Thumper, when they got on the ice and he's telling him, look, this is all you got to do. And he's ice skating around him. And he's like, look, here, I'll push you up. And he pushes up and Bambi starts walking and they start going. And finally Bambi just like slides and then Thumper's in front and they go into the snowbank. That was hilarious. When I was a kid, I remember that. And I remember sitting there laughing at it. And to this day, I still laugh at it.
And I still laugh at you too.
You're welcome.
And I still remember I've tried to attempt ice skating. I never even mastered beyond just walking around the rink. It's a lot more intricate than people realize. You're balancing yourself on a blade of ice and trying to like be graceful while doing that. I mean, I like rollerblading is a lot simpler of a concept, but like to anybody who can ice skate, like props to you, kudos to you. It is not.
I got bad knees. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm afraid to fall down and bust out my teeth. Okay, that is my fear. I might end up in the ER with no teeth in my mouth and a cracked head, okay, because I got bad knees. I ain't doing it. But Art Man, get out there and do it. I'll put a helmet on Art Man.
Wait, you
Let's see how far you get, Art Man. Let's see how far you
Okay. Before you start asking Art Man to ice skate, Art Man used to live right behind a lake that would freeze up every winter when he was
always
young.
got a story. He's always got a
Guess what
one-up
Art Man
story.
used to
You
do?
know what? If there are no pics, there's no proof. Art Man, sit down on the bleachers. He always has one-up story every time. Everything. It's always a competition with me and him. It's just, dude, that was back in how old were you?
5.
Yeah. Did you have that big old beer belly? No, because you'd get a little lopsided out there, and I would fear for your life. Stay off the ice, honey.
Sounds like you're a little jelly. It's okay. It's
I'm
all right.
not
Okay.
a little jelly. I just do not want to see you hurt and broken.
All right, you guys, welcome to No Blues News, Wednesday, 7 Eastern. I am Miss Tawny. We discuss positive news and entertainment stories. Quick shout outs to Nacho Mama, to Art Man, and to Rick.
Thank you, Nacho
Mama. We are talking about Bambi. Our first story was about South Park, and then our final story will be about, why am I drawing a blank today? About Board Game Clue, sorry. All right, and then I asked you about if you've seen Bambi. Okay, and then as far as, did you have a particular, or you mentioned Thumper, did you have a character? I would guess, like I said, kind of, I would guess kind of, maybe mine was Flower, because I know Thumper, he was cute, but he was kind of rude sometimes. He was kind of hyper, so I guess more Flower. So,
and I would say Bambi's mama, okay, because I'm a mom.
Mm-hmm.
I still like Thumper.
Yeah.
He's like the prince. He's like the prince of the forest.
Yeah, that's what they call me, Thumper.
Art Man. Oh yeah.
All right. And are you a fan of Disney movies? And what would be your favorite Disney movie outside of Bambi? Because Bambi's not actually one of my favorites. I do have certain favorite Disney movies.
Okay, Art Man's gonna go first. No. Let Art Man go first. He already got a thought. I don't want to hold him up because he made
my thoughts go like this. My thoughts go like that. I lost it already.
All right.
So I'm a big fan. One of my most favorite comedians and actors, Robin Williams. Mm-hmm. So if you've never seen Aladdin and him playing the genie and Sound of the Genie, that takes the cake right there. Aladdin was one of my favorite Disney movies. And Vampy knows. She already put it in the comments. You ain't never had a friend like me.
Yeah.
So, I'm just...
A boo-boo. I'm going to start calling you that.
I can't hear you, so I'm trying to lean in.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
I like the live action one. If you haven't seen the live action Aladdin, they did. It's really good. Mine are Tangled and what's the other one? Oh, Beauty and the Beast.
Okay,
and Lion
that was
King.
a good one too.
Kind of those three. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I definitely liked Lion King just because it was just a little, got the little music, got a little love story in there, got a little drama, got a little reunion. You got everything in there. Come on.
Yeah. He's
back. He's got his throne. He's got the love of his life. I mean, there's a little bit of, battle, So yeah, I think Lion King definitely has the all the above for me. Check.
And then they're all different. Lion King, had good music, the good story. Unfortunately, we have the horrible part of the one brother kills the other one, but it was still good despite all that. Simba becomes king and all that, and then you do have the love story. Tangled, it was it was nice that she overcame the Mother Gothel that, kidnapped her and, was kind of became independent. She found Flynn and they were kind of like kind of unique, and they kind of, like came together. And so, and I like the story of Tangled. I also really like Zachary Levi that did the voice of Flynn Rider, and then Mandy Moore. I've always really liked her. So that was another big draw of it too. I've always liked her musically and acting wise as well. And then Beauty and the Beast, you always remember the backstory to Beauty and the Beast was to, like not judge a book by its cover. Or so you always have that backstory of it, and it's a very important lesson. Thank you. So
I don't think I've seen Tangled.
Mm-hmm. And your thoughts on
they don't let me out very often. Okay.
So the look too. So the reason why I give you the look, NorCal, because you've never seen Tangled, is because of the hair that you used to have reminded me of Tangled.
I still have really long hair. Okay, I just cut off like 6 or 7 inches.
So you imagine NorCal like throwing her hair out the window when you come see her.
Is it kind of like Rapunzel?
Yeah.
That's Tangled.
Okay, I didn't know.
Yeah, that's Tangled. Yeah. Okay. All right, and then like we know the beginning of Bambi, the sad movie. Is there another movie you could think of that kind of got you in your feels from this movie? I know like The Blind Side was kind of one that when he talks about never having the bed, that made me cry, and like the end of Selena. When they show the real Selena, kind of made me cry.
Is Selena with Disney?
No, Selena, the story of the singer, the
right. Was that a Disney, or are we on to another?
No. I'm just talking about as far as since Bambi has that one scene, in the beginning, it's a sad scene. Kind of what's a movie outside of that scene? 'Cause I think a lot of people were sad, from the seeing his mom being killed. So any kind of other movie that kind of got you in your feels.
Yeah, I saw Selena. That was a very heartbreaking story, mainly because she was so young and she was just starting her career, and she was taken advantage by someone who was very close to her, who actually murdered her. And that was just a heart-wrenching story. So yeah, and it was a true story. So yeah, I don't know if there's any other movie out there that.
So there's two things that I get emotional from. One of them is if you've never seen this movie and you don't cry, you are, in my opinion, un-American, and that's Old Yeller. If you've never seen Old Yeller, what he has to do to the dog at the end of the movie, if that doesn't make you cry, you don't know. I came up with the third one. Turner and Hooch, same thing. Okay.
I've seen it
those are before my time.
And then the other one that makes me emotional somewhat, and it's not necessarily a movie, but anytime I'm looking at Facebook or TikTok or anything like that, and I see an emotional reunion from like a family member that's been overseas in the military coming back in a surprise, every time I see one of those, it gets to me.
I get what you're saying, because I grew up in San Diego, and they would always show not the Marine base, not necessarily, but it would always be on the news when the naval ships would come back into 32nd Street. They would always show the reunions from when they'd been on Westpac. And yes, and same deal. But nowadays, I like how people use like Instagram and TikTok as a resource to show all that too. It'll be people's personal journeys. It'll be like the girl whose dad came and surprised her, and I like to see things like that, because it reminds you to kind of be appreciative of the simple things in life. So Angels in the Outfield, that was a good one. Yeah. Okay. And then what do you consider your go-to classic movie?
My what? Go-to what?
Go-to classic movie.
I would say Gone with the Wind. Yeah. Gone with the Wind or Wizard of Oz. Those are just really like childhood memories for me, because there was a point where it was black and white and it went to color, and it was just like ooh and ah. Especially, I think when Gone with the Wind went color, they actually padded in the theaters, so that they made history by, you know, I don't even know what the word is, but republishing it or reviewing it or reshowing it or whatever the word that you want to, you know, say that it is. But Gone with the Wind, definitely.
All right, for you, Artman?
I would say a definite Wizard of Oz as a longtime throwback, but one of the original first horror movies that I saw, Jaws.
Ooh.
When I first saw Jaws, I never wanted to go into the ocean, not once.
Well, I think I have a few too. Jaws and like Star Wars, Return of the Jedi. I mean, there's a bunch of them, but yeah.
One of my big go-tos, and like I watch it whenever it comes on TV pretty much, is Grease. I really love Grease.
True. Yeah. That's
Mm-hmm.
a classic.
It's a little different, you know, when you watch the classic ones and the people are gone, it kind of takes on a new meaning, but that's always, you know, definitely one of the good ones. So, all right. And then NorCal has, you know, some shows and events going on. We know Artman has his show, my show, and so I want to get into Artman's shows and events and NorCal's shows and events. So whoever would like to go first.
NorCal, please go ahead.
First.
All you.
Oh, no. Go ahead, Artman.
I'm sorry. So the reason I'm leaning in is because I have my volume turned all the way up, but it's tough for me to hear you. I'm a little deaf, so don't mind me. But I did hear what you say. So I'm Artman. I'm a host of Fake Facts each and every Wednesday, 12 a.m., 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. On Tuesdays, we talk about all them silly laws, facts, international customs that people are like, wow, really? That's true, you know? So, all the answers that are on there, as I hit my my ring light, all the answers that are on there are actually true. They may be outdated. Some of them I have checked and they are outspoken for, but they are all true, things that I have looked up online. And it's a fantastic time. I also have a auction, I believe, Saturday with Smurfy. Summer Vibes auction. If you want to see Artman in some board shorts, a t-shirt, or a tank top, right? Maybe with a surfboard in my hand, maybe a beer. Okay, no beers. A soda or some sort of soda, not a soda, but a soda. No. I'm looking for the auction, having people come check it out. You know, I'm not here to collect diamonds or whatever. I'm here for the entertainment. I love entertaining people, making people laugh. So that's the biggest stuff. I'm also working with that person up there. We're doing a bunch of stuff together. I don't know. Go ahead, NorCal. Your turn.
NorCal DJ battle host on the app. I have 18 DJ battles under my belt. Been doing this for 3.5 years. Absolutely love live streaming. Love supporting featured content creators. Love being an admin to featured shows. If you want to get on a show, hit me up. I can hook you up with the admin. Also am a music correspondent for Ari, who is a top badge with unpopular opinions on Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Absolutely love that. I do an unpopular music segment. Please check us out because it's a super fun show. I also do Caffeine Lounge on Friday, which is just us getting together. I have an international pianist who comes and he plays. His name is Chris. He is in Serbia. So it's like 6 p.m. on a Friday night, and he and I do this amazing show. This week, we will not be doing the show. It was canceled. We're going to reschedule for next week.
No.
Hawkeye is our guest. If you guys don't know who Hawkeye is, he is an international, no, he is a, what is he? He is just a legend on the app. He's in his 90s, and he is just all over the app performing in part of so many different people's stream. I am so blessed to have him and showcase him. I do showcase artists, musicians, songwriters, and I just have fun. It gives me a reason to get out of bed on a Friday morning instead of me sitting in front of the screen eating a bagel and drinking a cup of coffee. I actually put a little show together, content show, instead of, staring and watching me eat and drink coffee. So I call it Caffeine Lounge. And I am working with Chris, who is my co-host. Hopefully I can help him design a featured show for him. I'm also working with Marty Party, helping him with a featured show. So look out for that. I am his admin for that. And we are going to Live Fest. So if you guys don't know what Live Fest is, Wild West, hello, love. It is the streamer meetup of the year. It's going to be the first time that the app has sponsored an event down in Arizona, Scottsdale, November the 3rd through the 5th. And it's going to be my vacation. So if you see me at Live Fest, all of you lurkers in here, please do not hesitate, and see Artman at Live Fest. Do not hesitate to come up and say hi, because I will be all over the board. Come and say hi to me. Hit me up on Instagram. I will meet you somewhere. We can meet in person, and I'd love to connect in person with whoever would like to meet me. But like I said, I'm going to be all over the place, and it's going to be super busy. So I definitely don't want to miss an opportunity to connect in person. So there you go.
And as far as the one with Krabby, is that still in the works?
So I have not heard back from him. So I'm not promoting that just yet. But I definitely need to reach out to him and see. So I'm behind the scenes working and helping people. But I don't want to announce a lot of the events just yet, not unless they are completely dialed in and we're ready to go and move forward with them. So, yeah.
Hey, NorCal, is that that event with Hawkeye? That's next week?
Yeah. So
You're
it'll
off
be
this
the
week?
caffeine. No, not this week. The Caffeine Lounge.
Not this week. Next week.
canceled
Okay.
This week. I have an important meeting that I have to go to. It's been a long time coming. So super important meeting. Cannot do any events this weekend. Will not be on live, but we will be returning next week.
I was supposed to do an auction this week, but I backed out of it. But September 1st, Summer, Top Edge in the UK. I've done an auction with her in the past, get to dress up. It was fun. She's doing another late night and date night auction. It's September 1st, September 2nd. I need to post about it. But yeah, if you don't know her, UK Top Badge Summer, check her out. We got a lot of good UK people on here. Definitely check out, your UK streamers. Yeah, I have my show Wednesdays, 7 Eastern, No Blues News, positive news, entertainment stories. We have sent in the headshots. We are waiting for the official date, for to be featured and all that. I know there's a couple of other people they're working with too, so that's probably part of the process. Is they're working with a lot of different people right now.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. And as far as upcoming shows, I know that I'm trying to work on getting on some shows again. I know I've kind of been laying low as far as that. I'm trying to work and get it back into shows. And as far as events, until everything's kind of dealt with the show, I've kind of put that on hold. And then of course, Krabby, if you want to be on Not Too Shabby on Wednesdays, he's currently on a break. But if you for next week, he should be back for the show. So if you would like to be on for a future date, reach out to me and I can get you booked. And then you can find me and NorCal every Wednesday night protecting forgiveness culture for Matthew.
I forgot that. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me. I do a lot. And you know what? I have 2 brain cells. But yes, I absolutely love Matthew's show, Forgiveness Culture. It allows me to practice forgiveness every week.
Yes. I definitely need to practice the forgiveness
I
right
forgive
now.
You, Artman. I forgive you.
We know the way
That's a first.
can be sometimes. What's up, Andrew? Okay. And at the whoever is the top gifter from the show, I try to make a unique, kind of like flyer each week. I try not to do the same thing. If it was up to me, I'd have a flyer with like pink sparkles on it every week. So but I can't do that every week. So I try to like come up with something, fun and creative for whoever happens to be the top gifter. So the final story is about the board game Clue. You made dinner? Awesome. I had chicken and prosciutto tortellinis for dinner. They were delicious, like the frozen kind. I wish I was like fancy enough to be trained to make like dumplings and tortellinis. That'd be awesome. But I was even watching a show earlier about like how you make them, and they're so much more intricate than you realize. That I'm a good cook and I like to cook. When it comes to more intricate things like that are like prep and it kind of is like art to make it. Yeah, I know he was talking about Art Man, but yeah. But the board game Clue, I did not know that the backstory of it was actually, it was a musician who did it who was in the military at the time. And they were doing underground drills during one of the particular wars at that time. It's 1944, so whichever war it was there, I forget. But he was into like, I guess this is back when murder mystery parties started. And I think that's still a thing. It's just like you kind of have to like find where they are. I've always wanted to participate in something like that. I've never had the chance to. I wish you could do something like that on the app, but I know that's kind of against the guidelines. You could probably make a kind of like crime type of game, but it couldn't be anything. Obviously, murder is violent, and even if you weren't really killing people, I get why they wouldn't want that as a show, obviously. But it would be pretty entertaining though if you could like had a little like mystery type of series. Maybe you could spin it in different ways, like somebody stole something, or I don't know. It would be an interesting thing.
So Art Man, this is going to be all you because I know nothing of Clue. I've heard of it and I just have no idea what I got myself into. I do know
it was
there was
another... It was NorCal with a lead pipe in the living room.
So no, it was not me. I Art Man is snitches get stitches. So with that said, I do know another streamer on the app who probably has maybe like 70, 80, 90 board games and who's just really good at board games. And there you go. So kudos to him. Hopefully, if this was a game show, I could have gotten a lifeline, but there you go. No lifeline. So Art Man, you've won the show. Congratulations. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. There you go.
What I win.
Chicken dinner.
in the tradition of Agatha Christie, in the state of Connecticut, and I've done this, they have a murder mystery train, which you can go on.
Oh, interesting.
Agatha Christie, I don't know if she is a writer. She does a lot of horror stories and stuff like that. So murder mystery stories. So they do those and they play them out on this train thing. And I forget the city that it's in. I know it's in Connecticut. It's been 28 years that it was been since I was last on it. So.
Oh my God, you're that old? Oh, jeez. We need to get you a wheelchair.
Hey, I'm bringing sexy back, baby. Okay, I'm bringing sexy back. Leave me alone.
Get you a wheelchair and a walker. Someone get his teeth. Get his teeth. Someone get his teeth.
Keep it up, NorCal. We're gonna okay. Just saying. All right. Yeah. So yes. So this game was made during World War II, when they were in the tunnels and in the what do you call them, the trenches, right? When there wasn't much going on, in order to try to pass time for the troops or whatever, that's the game that they came up with. They tried to decide who killed each other using what instrument. So that's how the game Clue was actually founded.
I'm taking you out with some dental floss.
Yeah, I remember the concept. It was like you rolled the dice and you moved along with squares. You had an envelope. You had like cards. You had an envelope that you drew the card. It was the person who committed the crime and the person who committed what tool they used to commit the crime, and then what room they did it in. And every time you got to move into a room, you got a guess. And basically, it was like you kept in the room and trying to guess. And then obviously, whoever solved it won, but I think there was sometimes, that you wouldn't win. So it was always a fun game because like if you like guessed wrong, then you basically like lost because the whole point of the game was to figure out the mystery. So
Yep.
but
Just have you ever played oh my god, Guess Who?
yes, I remember that one. Yeah.
And Guess Who is very kind of similar to it. You got to take a look at the picture. Do they have a mustache? Are they wearing a hat? Do they have glasses on? Kind of like the same concept.
Yeah. I am not good at board games, but the one that I always liked, and I was competitive at it, even though I was bad at it, was Monopoly. I've always loved Monopoly.
That's a really long game. You think that's going to be like a real short game, then you're like there for hours.
Mm-hmm. Well, then they made like a video game version of it. They have like the video game on multiple platforms and like the phone game now. Even on the phone and the video game's the same way. It's still really long. Like you got to play it over like multiple days unless you want to sit there for like 4 to 6 hours. But I think we tried to like my dad tried to like kind of bend the rules so there was like a way to play it in like an hour or two. He's like, okay, we're gonna create certain rules so that we can like narrow down the time. So
I always played I was always the banker because I was good at math and I could like kind of just sneak the hundreds into my pile and no one would ever see it.
Not the cheating. So don't play games with Art Man because he'll cheat.
No, that's not true.
Okay.
I mean, unless it was against my brothers and sisters, that's not true.
Okay. All right, and what is your actual favorite board game?
I used to play Yahtzee with my aunt. I think I was like 12 or 13. I spent the summer with her in a little town called Tybee Valley, and it's right outside of this, like it's in the San Joaquin like area. And she had this orange orchard that I was surrounded by like acres and acres and acres. And it was in the middle of nowhere. I went and spent the summer with her, and we would play like Yahtzee. And she was super competitive. And I know that's not a board game, but I do remember playing that and Rummy. So I wasn't really into the board games. I was more into like those type of games when I was growing up.
Yeah, pretty much the same. I like the Yahtzee a lot. I also played when I was young. I still kind of do not Chutes and Ladders, not Candyland. Oh my God, what's it called? Pop Up? Is it Pop Up? Pop Up? Trouble.
Yeah. Oh,
Trouble. Yeah.
And then Scrabble. I forgot about Scrabble. I always played Scrabble with both of my grandparents. And of course, them being older, they had a lot more knowledge on the vocabulary. So, they're much better at it than me. But I always had fun at it, even though I didn't usually, like I said, I didn't usually win games.
War.
But kind of
you can never forget war.
Huh?
You can never forget about war.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about war. Yeah, that's another game that goes on forever too.
Mm-hmm.
But that's one thing I joke about people when I'm in their streams and they'll talk about, they'll joke about strip poker. I'm like, well, you don't want to play it with me. And they're like, oh, what? Because you'll end up naked. I was like, no, because you'll lose. You'll end up naked. I'm good at it. My dad taught me blackjack and poker as a teenager. So I've been good at it since I was a teenager. So I could I've never thought to try to go to a casino and try my luck. I should. But I've always.
They don't usually play strip poker. They usually don't play strip poker at the casino. Just I don't know what casinos you're going to, but maybe I need to hit those up. I'm just.
No one wants to see you, Art Man, with.
And no.
Please, my eyes are burning. Okay, I'm just saying, my eyes are burning just thinking of it. I'm good.
Okay. And then as far as I kind of got more into video games because of my kids. I don't know why I got into this one, but like Sim City, building the cities. I always really liked Sim City.
It's kind of like Minecraft, but it's more realistic.
Yeah. And then Grand Theft Auto and Need for Speed, and then Mario Kart. I always liked all those games.
I liked Pac-Man back in the day. Donkey Kong.
Mario Kart was cool.
Mm-hmm.
The original Nintendo games were good. The original Nintendo games.
Pong.
Duck Hunt.
You know, the one you Zelda when you had to put them in and
Pong.
Okay.
Doop, doop.
Yeah.
Well, you played it so wrong that it
Artman
overheat.
Speed. That's Artman Speed. Pong. Not too fast.
Okay,
not too
and then
fast.
all right, and if you ever could have created a board game yourself, and I think this is a good question for Artman, being is that he obviously came up with his own game. If you could create a board game yourself, what would it be and why?
So I would create something like Life, and in the term of life, and when I say in the term of life, right? Because when you're a younger teenager, right, and you don't know exactly what you want to do with your life going on, right, creating, right, give them career choices like here, because there's so many career choices. Like I'm out here now, right, trying to find another career choice or whatever, right. There's so many career choices out here right now that a lot of people, especially coming out of high school or college, don't know about. They really don't. So if you create a game in which, hey, you're gonna be married, you're gonna do this, or right, you're gonna live single, but you're gonna be a millionaire. This is gonna be your career, right? Something that's gonna be fun, but teaches them actually what they can do in the future is what I would like to do.
I mean, they do have that board game Life, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I never actually had Life. I've played it a couple times. I never had the board game.
There's little cars, and you have those little people that you put in, and then you go around, and then you have kids, and you put the little kids in the back, and yada yada yada. Is that the one?
I always ended up with a second car because I had too many kids.
Oh lordy!
So I had to have a second car to bring along because the game gave me too many kids. So that was a good one. That was a fun one. Me personally, like I don't know, like I don't know if there's necessarily a game I would create. So maybe something more along the lines of some kind of trivia or something more simplified like that. But as far as the advancement of a board game, I don't know. There's so many already created, it'd be hard to think about. So Hungry Hippos isn't a board game, but that was always a fun one because it was easy. Just go crazy, smack the thing, and eat the little, balls. So.
Yeah. Well, you can get those ones where they have the fake food that you got to eat. Like if you lose, you got to eat this piece of food, and it tastes like one of those what are those jelly beans, like the Jelly Bellies that are horrible tasting.
What are those called?
They're Jelly Bellies, but they have like the Harry Potter ones, right, Mayo, right? Like earwax. Earwax.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I forgot the name. During the pandemic, that was like a real popular thing. Like they would have like a verse war between two streamers, and they'd go down and buy the pack, and then they'd sit there and eat whatever. I forget the name of them though.
Yeah. I know Donnie was always doing that, and Donnie would always try to talk me into it. I was like, you are not convincing me. I was like, somebody could send me a dragon. You are not convincing me to volunteer myself for a game where I eat disgusting things,
Yeah,
I'll do the shows where I do a dare if I lose, but yeah, I'm not going to volunteer to eat disgusting. I got talked into it. Speaking of Donnie, we were in a battle, and for some reason, my son had some Carolina Reaper jerky, and he heard my son. He's like, hey,
Boozle. He's like, nasty, the nasty.
Yeah. He's
Boozle.
like, I dare you. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But Donnie was like, I dare you to try it, and so I'm like, you know what? It's not going to be that bad. It's just some jerky. So I get it, and I'm battling Donnie, and I go to bite it. I underestimated this stuff because it like creeped up on you. I was crying.
Oh
You know,
yeah.
like the crow effect, you know.
Mike, I see
It
that.
was like, oh my gosh, it was so hot. I was like, I get a drink. So yeah,
I can't even listen to you do it. I'm just getting hot just listening to you do it. That's like, I can't do anything.
Our man wakes up hot. Okay, he just hot. It just comes
I
out
like
of
the
his
spicy
pores.
stuff, but
It just
more like
comes out of his
jalapeno
pores.
level, not quite to that level. Okay, and then my final question would be, like you said you hadn't been to the murder mystery, and if you found someone somewhere you could like go along with friends, would you go to it? Like I've been to an escape room, but it really wasn't my cup of tea. I went, you know, because of another friend. It was when I went up to Dallas one time. It was me, Alyssa, and it was Matthew. And Alyssa was so much more into it than me and Matthew were. So me and they were trying to just like be good friends and like go along. But like, yeah, I couldn't get into the escape room. But I would love to go to a murder mystery event if I found one somewhere.
Go ahead, Norcal.
I went to one escape room and I did it just because, like you said, everyone was going. But I didn't really like the idea of like being locked in a room and someone had control of like letting us out. Was not like, did not settle with me. So I did it, and then we were with other people that were kind of like random strangers. So that kind of took away like the bonding, you know, like with your friends, because they ended up kind of like taking lead, and it turned into their event. And so I don't think I had the best experience. So I probably will not do that again because I don't want to waste my money on something like that. I've already experienced it, checked it off the, bucket list. I'm good.
I've done an escape room twice with my girls, and we got about 3/4 of the way through. Couldn't make it all the way through. We did our best, and I appreciate them. But you want to make it real. You want to make a real escape room. This is what you do. You take like 5 or 6 people that you know, and then you get this one guy that nobody knows, and somehow someone's in on it, right? The guy has got to be like huge. He's got to be like a really big guy, like 300 some odd pounds. And when you get in there and lock the door, he just starts taking his clothes off. You want to see people trying to get out of that room?
Our man sounds like he's volunteering.
We didn't know.
Scratching at the walls.
This has been No Blues News at Miss Tawny, Wednesday, 7 Eastern. Our guests tonight were NorCal and Artman. Shouts outs to hold on real quick, Mayo Mama, to Nacho Mama, and not the goals, and then Artman. We can read. Okay. All right.
And Miss Tawny, I'm sure Miss Nacho Mama would love to be on the show. Absolutely.
I had Nacho Mama on the show before. Yeah.
Oh, have you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's my little sis.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, is it? I forgot. And this is my second time being on the show. Thank you, love, for allowing me to come back with the Jokester Artman,
definitely.
Who is like my little brother, who it just always is trying to find a way to poke at NorCal.
Mm-hmm. Or did you mean Mayo Mama? Because I see Mayo Mama down in the comments. She hasn't been on the show, but I know she's in NorCal's little group chat, and like that's the one thing. It's kind of funny that I have a group chat for the show because I am so horrible at keeping up for the group chats. But keep in mind, all of us have multiple shows, multiple events going on, and then our personal conversations. So I try to limit it to only having about 20 conversations within my Instagram. And when I'm, in events and the shows and everything, I get to an average of about 50. So it's like I've posted things in the wrong place, and it's funny because, people will be nice about it. I've seen messages from Krabby, Tawny, you posted your show stuff in the chat for the show. So I'm like, oh no, let me go fix it, but so, as long as you don't send anything, just make sure you don't say anything stupid in your messages and you're good. So
yeah.
All
Definitely.
right.
Well, we appreciate you. I appreciate you. And I am super stoked for you on your show. It has been such a fun show to do with Artman. It was like Imano against Imano. I feel like we should have had this should have been like a competition between us. You could have given us like
Man
topics.
versus woman.
You could
The
have given us
alpha versus the
topics
Bravo.
ahead of time, and then Artman and I would have gone neck and neck.
The neck versus the no neck. You know.
I would have taken my gloves
Come back and
off.
do like
and it
a
would have been over. Artman is done. Exactly.
do a boxed game night and see mano a mano. Come up with some games and see.
Absolutely. Thank you,
Yeah.
love. I appreciate you. I'm gonna pop out. I've got a meeting I'm gonna be in, but I will see you tonight
All
on
right.
Matthew's show. And thank you and congratulations
Yes.
again. And are you going to Live Fest?
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that. I know that I need to talk to Matthew too and find out about that. So
Okay.
kind of get in touch with some others to kind of find out, what's going on. Because of the fact I don't have a ticket, I'll be going, just to doing things outside of the
Well,
main
keep me
event, so.
posted. If you're there, I'd love to meet you in person.
I know it
All
counts.
right, thank you guys. All right.
So I'll be at Live Fest as well, or trying to be. I have my ticket. I did have some things come up about getting there, and some personal issues that I have to go through. So personally, which really sucks because I didn't expect this coming, and I know you know about it, and I'm not gonna put that out there.
Yeah.
I'm just doing what I can for right now. If I make it, I make it. If I don't, I don't.
Yeah, understandable.
But it was a great show. I have another show tonight with Moody.
Oh, okay, you're on Moody Show tonight.
Guess the gibberish. So I'm gonna take myself a little nap. Get rid of these burps that I have. I don't know if you've seen that or not.
No.
You did a great job. Keep it up. Keep working hard, and you will get the show.
Thank you. All right, I'm getting to our regular
Good luck to you.
scheduled program. Thank you. I do.
Thanks.
Yeah, we could end the recording. I do have to get my hours in. I did not stream yesterday.